Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel CAD Engineer. In this part of video, we're going to see quickly how to use all the tools, draw tools, modify, annotations, layers, blocks, properties. So we'll start with the draw toolbar. Here we have the line command. So we'll see how to use line command. So we'll see all the tools directly from the toolbar. We can also do the shortcuts also, but in this video, we are going to learn that how to going to use directly from the toolbar. So if you want to use the line, we can take a line tool. After taking line tool, it's asking to specify first point on the screen. We can specify one point on the screen. After defining one point, it asks you to specify the next point. You can tell the next point, and like this we can specify next points. And now if you want to cancel the command, we can press escape button. Now again we'll take the line tool. So line have a variety of options. When you're making a line tool, you can make like lines continuously, but if you feel that you are making mistakes somewhere, you want to go back, you can click here undo, or you can type u enter. Now if I want to continuously making a line, if I want to close the line, we can use C enter, or we can take here from close, and this is how we can close our line. Now initially the line that we are making, the lines are like it's not come straight initially. Like you have to just hold your mouse and drag the points, the green lines, then only you can make exactly straight lines. But if any situations you want that the line should come exactly straight, in that cases what you do, you can go this option that is called ortho mode on. You can click on that and it will be get on. So like this we can make horizontal or vertical line without any other things. Now that is about that line. Now if you want to make polyline is what, like it's like a line only, but in that line we have single segments. When we select lines, we can select the grips and move the line. If you want to edit the line, we can pick the grips, and we can also edit the line size and all. But in the polyline, we have a continuous joined one single line will be there. We can take a polyline. If you want to make polyline, you can just draw like this, and you can see if we cancel that command and we can select this, we find that it is single line is there. Means when you want to modify anything, you can see that how it is modifying. It do not getting separate with the line when we moving the grips. So whenever you feel that you have to make a continuous polyline object, we can use this polyline tool. Not only this we can do, we have more things here. Like if you want to make line and you feel that you want to convert the line into arc, you can use arc tool here. We can convert by clicking a point. So it'll be turned arc continuously. If you want to change back to the line, you can click on the line and you can make line like this. Now if you want that to be closed, again you can click close here and it will be close at particular end. Now again we'll take a line polyline, and we can create, like if you want to give a width in that polyline, you can take half width option and you can specify that starting width and end width. Let me take here 2 and 4 is my ending width. We can see the 2 and 4 width will be created. So like this you can add half width and all. If you don't need, you can go back and you say 0, enter 0, enter, it will be make 0. If you want to make line with some length, you can put the length value. I said like this is 300. Line will be created of 300 size. Like that we can make by distance also. We can do undo. If you want to go back and you want to do undo, we can do undo. So here width method is also there. We can take width same way as we seen half width. Is similar kind cases there. You can put half width also. Let me put 2 and 3. So we can see this is how it will be added a half width. Enter. So this is how we can use a polyline tool. Now we'll see how to use a variety of circles from the toolbar. So here we have circle toolbar. We have different type of circles are there: center radius, center diameter, 2 point, 3 point, tangent and radius, tangent. Now if you want to make them, we can go here. We can take the first option, center radius. We'll take the circle. Now once we take in the circle, it is asking to specify the center point of circle. We can click anywhere and we can define the radius of circle. Like this is 10 radius. Like this we can make a 10 radius circle. If you want to make a diameter circle, we can go here and take center diameter and click, and we can specify the diameter value. Like I want to make 15 diameter, I can make a 15 diameter circle. Now if I want to make 2 points, we can select any 2 points and we can make a circle between them. Like I can select this point 1 and 1 point here, and we can make a circle between them. If we have 3 points, let me create some 3 points. Let me turn off ortho mode, and we can create a line like this, and we have 3 points. We can take the corner of this rectangle, corner of this triangle. Now we'll take this option here called 3 points, first point, second point, and third point. Like this we can make a 3-point circle. We have one more circle is called tangent radius. So that is called, if you have some lines, let me turn on the ortho mode to make straight lines. So we'll take the circle here. We can take tangent radius 1, 2, and we can specify the radius value. Like for example, I'm giving a radius of 10. We can see that circle has created tangent, and plus the 10 radius circle is created. Now If you want to make circle that is tangent three sides, anywhere any condition is there, we have to maintain three side tangency. We can use three tangent circle. That's called tangent, tangent, tangent. We'll click 1, 2, and 3. So this is how we can make three tangency circle. So that is all about the circle types. Now we'll see how to use arcs. We have different variety of arcs are there. We have first arc is called 3-point arc. We click first point. Now for making proper way, you have to turn off the ortho mode. You can turn off it. Now you can click a second point and third point. Like this we can make a 3-point arc. The next is start center end. Like if we have a line, for example, let me create a line of 10 distance. Now let's see how to make that first arc type. We can go here and we'll take start center end. We'll define starting point, center point, and end point. If I need the same arc in downward direction, we can start from opposite direction, start, center, and end. Or if you're not using this way, we can also do one thing, like if you want to change the direction, if you select wrong direction, then also you can change the direction. How? We'll select this first point, second point, and press Control button, and it will be change the direction. So this is the way. Now next one we have start center angle. We can take this option. We can define start point, center point, and we'll define the angle value how much we require. I want to make 45 degree. If you want to check this 45 degree or not, we can connect this point and this point, and we can check the angle here. So I'll go here and we'll check that angular distance. I said this and this to be 45 degree. So this is how I made a 45 degree angle. Now next, same way we can go this start a center length. So when we talk about length, it means that chord length we can specify. So start center and we can specify the length of arc that we require as a 6. Now how we can check that is exactly 6? We can connect this point and connect this point, and we can measure the distance by using align tool. So we'll pick this point and pick this point, and we can see this is 6 distance. Now we have next types. We have start. Now we are starting with the start. It is also here the end is coming after that center. So start and an angle. We'll say start and we can specify the angle of arc. Like this is 50 degrees. So we can see this will be shift to downward that much according to angle. If I take more start angle, I said that to be 100 degree. We can see that the slope will be changed. So center will be changed. If you want to change the angles, check the angles. We can just select that center point of the circles, and we can measure that exact angles that is forming. Like if I want to check this angle, so we can just check the angle 50. Next is we have start and direction. We can put start and end direction, and we can just move your mouse up and down. Okay, we can just define the direction, and we can make a arc. Next we have that type is called start and radius. We can take this tool start and radius. I'll take start point and point, and we can put the radius value how much we want to take it. I say this is I want to take a radius of 5 because I have 10 distance, or I can take less also. That slope will become less. I take start and we can put a radius like 6. So slope will be reduced accordingly. Now we have the options called center, start, end. It's the same thing, but only starting from center. That is the difference. So start, center, end. Or we can go to the next one. Center, start. We can specify angle like 60 degrees. So we can measure the same way. Next one is called center, start, angle. Length. So we'll define center, start, and put the length value. I said this to be 8. So we can measure from this point to this point. That is the 8 length. So if you're making any arc, like if I make 3-point arc, 1, and let me turn off the ortho mode, second and third point. So once we made arc and we want to make a continue arc from that, we can use continuous arc. Like this, we can do a continue of the arc. Next, we have type of rectangles are there. We can use a rectangle method. Okay. So first method is chamfer method. Okay, first let me show without chamfer. I'll just click first point and second point. Like by clicking any 2 points, we can make a rectangle. Or while making, if your dynamic input is on, like here we can see at the bottom, my dynamic input is on. We can click, now we can put the dimension while making it. I said this is 6 and press tab key for the next side. I said this is 4. So 6 by 4, my rectangle is created. So this way, very easy way we can create a rectangle. Now, if you want to make with the chamfers and all, we can go to chamfer and we can specify the chamfer distances. I said this is 2 and this is 3. 2 by 3 chamfer I've taken. Now, if I want to make some distances, fixed distances, we can put the distances value. Let me put it 20 by 20. and click. So you can see here, so that chamfer has been created by now let me create same distance. Let me put 2 by 2 and we'll make a rectangle. Now you can see how it is coming. Okay. Now next is, if you don't need chamfer, we can make the chamfer value to be 0 here. Now I need with round corners. For that we can take fillet tool. We can make we can define fillet radius value. Let me put a radius of 4 and we can click. We can define the distances. Let me make 20 by 20. This is how we make a rectangle. This is 4 radius. Next, we can also make a rectangle with the width. If you want to make a rectangle with width, you can take a width here and specify the rectangle width. Let me put it width of 3 and let me make fillet to be 0. I don't need fillet. Now I can make a rectangle. So like this, we can make a rectangle with width also. Now next, we are going to see that how to make a rectangle by using elevation and thickness method. So elevation is what, like height. Like for example, let me make first normal any one rectangle. Like this is a rectangle, we have made it. Now I need one rectangle at some height from this first rectangle. We'll take rectangle, we'll use here elevation, we'll define the elevation height. I said the elevation height to be 100. Now if I make one more rectangle here, let me delete this thing from here. Now this is created at some height. How can I check that for height? We have to use this VQY toolbar. We can click on that and we can check this is created at some height. You can press shift button and middle mouse button and you can rotate it and you can see how it is created. Now next is, we'll see one more thing. Let's go to normal top view from here. Let's see one more tool that is called thickness toolbar. Okay, let me adjust little middle. So I'll make rectangle. I'll take rectangle tool from here. Now I'll use thickness. We can specify the thickness of rectangle. Let me put 100 only. So that is for height purpose. I'll just make one rectangle here. Let me copy this rectangle other places. Like let me turn off my ortho mode so I can place exactly straight and copy this also from here. Like this, I just created 4 rectangles. Now let's go to 3D view and check how it is created. So you can see that it is added thickness. Now we can see the 3D view of this, how it is created actually. So we have conceptual view, we can check that. So this is how the rectangle has been created. You can see that. So it will be at a third dimension actually. So whenever you want to make some thickness in 3D, you can use thickness tool from here. Now let's get back. Let's go to 2D and top view. We'll delete this all. Now we'll see something more in the rectangle. I'll go to REC enter. We'll click. Okay, we don't need now this thickness and all. Let me make it 0. Width to be 0. Thickness to be 0. Elevation to be 0. So whatever the previous we have taken, we can make it 0. Now I'll make simple rectangle. After clicking first point, it will give you 3 options: area, dimension, and rotation. Okay, if you want to make a rectangle with some area, you can take an area value. So we know that rectangle area is L into B, length into breadth. So we can define, like if I take 500 as my area, so I can take 15 to 10 or 10 into 50, like that. We can specify what we want to take, what is width, what is my you can say length. Okay. So we can specify, I said width, let me make 25. Okay, 25. So 25 by 25 we have created like this. Okay. So one dimension we have to specify, second also to automatically take that. Now next is you can make, if you want to make rectangle with some dimensions, you take dimension tool. So here you can define length dimension and width dimension. I said the length will be 40, enter, and width will be like 50, enter. Like this, click and you can create that with the length and width. You can also give rotation also while making a rectangle. You can click and you can define the rotation angle. I say 45 degrees, and you can tell that now what the length sizes and all required. You can click also. So it is created 45 degree. If you measure that angle, that will find that exactly 45. Let's check that. So if I measure this from here to here, that is 45 degrees. So this is how we can make rectangles, type of rectangles. Now we'll see polygon types. So polygon is what, like it's like we can give minimum 3-sided and maximum 1024 sides in AutoCAD. So we'll see how to make. So we'll make some circle. Let me make a circle of 5. I'll copy this. So in polygon we have basically 2 types are there. That is inscribed and circumscribed. Okay, inscribed means that will be created inside the circle. Circumscribed means that will be made on the circumference of the circle. So here it is asking the number of sides when we take a command. So we'll put 3 side minimum, and I want to define a center of circle, and we'll put the radius. Let me choose first option inscribed here, and then we specify the radius circle, that is 5. Let's take again polygon, and number of side, let me take same 3, enter. We'll just specify the center, and I'll choose circumscribed, and we'll specify the same radius 5. So this is how we can create inscribed and circumscribed option. Now let's create some more sides. Let's take polygon. I want to make 6 sided. So I'll just select that center and we'll specify inscribed and 5. Again, we'll repeat the tool. So we have to give 6 side and center and circumscribed and 5 radius. So this is how any side polygon we can create it here. We have one more method in polygon. We'll take this. Now we'll take any sides. Let me make 5 sided. We'll not this time specifying the center. We'll take edge method here. We'll click edge. Now we'll click first point on the screen. Now we can define the length of this side that we required. So I said I required a side of like 10. So if you measure this sides of this polygon, that will be 10 each side. You can see that is 10 side. If you also check here align dimension, you can check that is also exactly 10. Okay, so this is how we can measure and we can check the dimensions of polygon. Next we'll see that ellipse case. We have 2 ellipse cases are there. One is center method and one is axis end method. Center means we have to define the center of ellipse and we can give the distance from there. Let's make some line. Let me make 50 distance line here, and we'll make one line here like 20 distance. I'll move and adjust this line exactly middle of this particular line. Let me make exactly middle. I'll copy this so I can create multiple. So we can see how to make, we can take the option here center. We'll just specify the center location from where we have to make ellipse. Now we can specify that half of distance of the total value we have. Like this 50 distance line I want to make half 25 and second half is 10. Like this it will create it. We can give any one distance, like I'll use this, I want to give this 10 distance this first and this second 25 this. This is how we can make. Now we have second type is called axis method. In axis method we have to specify one complete distance, one half distance. So axis means we can specify from the corner, like from here or from here of the from that lines. I'll make from this corner as the total distance is 50 and second is 10. Or I can go from this side, total distance is 20 and other is half 25. This is how we can make polygon. Now sorry, this is how we can make ellipse. Now if you want to make some elliptical arc and all, you can use elliptical arc also. The same concepts we can use it. We have to specify, like let me take with the axis method. So I specify this point and total distance 50 and okay. So second distance I have to tell 10 and I can tell the first point and second point where I have to end. Like this we can do it. Next we have okay, hatching types are there. If you want to hatch anywhere, you can use hatching methods. You go to hatch. So here we have variety of hatches are available. We can use pick point method or selected method. Pick point method, when we have closed loop, closed boundaries are there, we can use pick method. We can choose the type of hatching that we want to apply. Let me take initially ANS 131 and we can select that. And here when we filling the hatching, sometimes that it is not visible clearly. What you do, you can put some scale value here, like it's 50, I put it here, or we can just change this to 20. If you want to add colors also, you can do colors. If you want to fill some inside color, you can do that, filling the color inside that part also. Okay, we can choose some color like this. At center we have variety of shades are available. We can use a different type of shades and textures. We can take from here, we can apply. Okay, if we don't need these colors, we can change the colors we require. Okay, so like this we can put hatching. Now we have one way, like if you have any boundaries are there, like if you have some boundaries you want to fill by the hatch by selecting a boundaries also, we can use select boundary method. So go to H center, we'll just take boundaries method and we can select boundaries one by one to define the hatching area, and we can select internal boundary to specify the particular region. Like this we can do a hatch. Okay, so here let me take none and you can see how the hatch is filled. Now we have one more condition in hatching, like if we have multiple boundaries are there, let me make a rotation angle to be 0. So we'll make rectangle. Let's make one more rectangle and one more rectangle. So when we do hatch enter, we have one method pick point. Let me pick here. You can see right now it's only filling hatching in outer area. But if I want something else, let's hatch enter. We'll go to settings of hatchings. And here we have that isolate detections are there. We have by default it is on outer. We can change method, like I'll take normal first and show you. So I'll pick point and just select it, and you can see it is filling inside and outside part. If you want to ignore everything, you want to fill it, you can use here one more setting is there, that is called outer method. Sorry, ignore method. We can use ignore method. In the ignore method, it will be fill hatching everywhere. Like this, we can add a hatch. Now I'll delete this. So this is how I can add hatchings, variety of hatching we can add. We can also add a gradients in that. We have gradient is similar to hatching only. Here we have multiple colors are there. We can take from hatch itself, or you can go here and you can take gradient separately. It's in the same panel will be open. So we have a variety of gradients patterns are available. Which kind of you want to fill, you take. Like I'll take here gradient linear. Let's select that and fill it. So here we can decide the colors also. If you want to fill any set of colors, we can tell the software to the colors. It'll be add. Let me make more. I'll just make H enter, or you can take this from here and choose. Let me take this spherical type, and we can select and we can change the colors. Let me specify some colors that I won't take. Like this, we can fill a gradient. If you want to only fill colors, you can H enter or hatch enter. You just go to pick points, select solid, set the color what you want to fill it. Okay, it will be add that colors in that particular place. So this is how we can do hatchings. That is about basic draw toolbar options. Okay, now we'll see how to use that modify toolbar options. If you want to move object from its location, go to move option and you can select that, enter, and you can pick a point on the object, and you can move by moving with the mouse. If ortho mode is off, you can place it anywhere, wherever you like. Okay. Or if you want to move with a particular direction, horizontal, vertical only, you can go to move and turn off the ortho mode. And when you select it, enter, and you select the one base point and tell the distance value. Or you can click also. I say 200 distance from its actual position, it will move at 200 distance. Okay. Like I want to move this, M enter, we can take from there also, M enter, we can select this and we can put the value. Like this is 80 distance. So it is move at 80 distance. Next, if you want to make a multiple copy of any object, we can go to copy tool. We'll select the object, enter, and after that we have to just tell one point and we can make a copy like this. Multiple copy we can make it. If you want to make a copy in one direction, multiple copies you want to make in one direction, we can use copy array also. We'll take this tool, we'll select this, enter, we'll just tell one base point and use array method here. Now here we have to tell the number of items that we required. I said 6 items, and we have to tell the distance between them, how much you required. I said this is 50 distance I want to put it, I'll enter. So it will be created at 50 distance each items. Now initially when we take copy tool, let me take copy and we can pick from any point. Okay. So when we pick copy and we continuously clicking, it will make continuous copy. Okay. But if I want that, if I make copy and second time it will be cancel the command, we can do one more thing, copy, select the object, enter. Let's take one, select that, enter, and base point, and okay. So we'll do again copy and select the object, and we'll take here mode type and we'll say single. So when we copy, it will be cancel the command. So you can change the mode anytime, but mostly we keep it multiple mode only. So we can set this to mode to multiple mode. So this is how we can do it. Now next, if you want to stretch any object, let's see how to do the stretching and all. So I make a simple rectangle here. If I want to stretch this rectangle, we'll take stretch command. We'll select any 3 sides, enter, and we'll just pick any base point and we can stretch along that. Okay. Select any 3 side, enter, and we can stretch along that. If I select complete, what will happen? It start moving. Okay. So we need to only select 3 sides. Next is rotation. If you want to rotate any object, you select the object, enter. We'll take one base point and define the rotation angle. I say 30 degree. It will be rotated by 30 degree. If you want to rotate with copy also, you select the object, rotate tool, select the object, enter, and tell one base point and define the rotation angle, copy, and put that how much copy you okay, how much angle we required, we can specify that. From that we can see it make a copy at 45 degrees. Now next we have one more method. Like if I have 2 objects and we want to rotate with reference each other, we can go to rotate and object 1, enter, and we'll take a base point and we have to take a reference method and we have to tell the reference angle. I said 130 degree. So with which reference you're rotating, you can tell that. So it will be rotated by 130 degree reference of with this line. Next, We can do mirroring. How to do mirror? Like if I have make a component here, let me make some component. Okay, so let me make a mirror line. Okay, basically we need to specify 2 points on the screen. If a mirror line is there, it's good. If not there, we have to assume a 2 points properly and we can mirror it. So we'll go to mirror tool, we'll select the object we mirror, enter. After that, we have to give 2 points. As I said, like this 1 point I'll take and second point. We can give any 2 points on the mirror line, enter, and it'll be mirrored. But suppose some cases, if I make anything to be mirror and I don't want that object to become object to be remain here, and I want to only that to be shifted to the other side. So that also is possible. What we do, mirror, we'll take mirror tool, select the object, enter, and after that we take 1 point, second point, and we'll say erase source object, we'll say yes. So source object will be deleted. So it's depend on the mirror, like where exactly you giving 2 points. According to, like if I give 2 points at an angle, that mirror will be go at an angle also. Enter. Next is scaling. Scaling is what increasing and decreasing the size of object. If you want to increase the size of object, we'll give scale more than 1. If you want to decrease the size of object, we'll give scale less than 1. We'll select the object, enter, we'll just specify 1 point and give the scale factor. I said this is 0.5. So that become half of the size. If you want to increase the size, select enter and define a point and give that scale factor to 5 times. I put 5. So it's become 5 times of actual size. Next is trimming. Trimming is what if you want to cut unwanted lines or if you want to remove anything now that is possible. Okay, so we'll go to trim method. Okay, we can select by fencing, we select one by one also, we can trim it. In newer versions, we have this thing is we can read anything. Okay, but mostly what is the use exactly, why we are using the trim command? See, if you have something is crossing objects are there and we want to only use to be trim only crossed object. So in that cases it is useful, like that we can do it. But right now it can trim everything, but for that we can change some settings. How? For that you go to mode and take this mode to be standard mode. So now what happen if you trim this and trim this? So it cannot trim this line because in this method we cannot trim single object, we can only trim the crossing objects. Okay, so see now nothing is crossing, so you cannot trim it. If something will cross, you can only then that cases you can trim it out. Now we'll see how to do some extend and all. If we want to extend something, we'll do extend also. Let me take tool extend. We can click here and we take extend. Okay, so okay, first we'll take this and we'll enter and we'll see enter like this. We can do one by one extend. We have one more way of extending. If I want to extend, we can uh, like first take here boundary edge and we'll select the boundary edge, enter, and we'll select that object, enter. So it automatically go to the last object. So this is how you can do extending tool. Now next is fillet. How to use fillet tool? Let's see that. So if I want to make some fillets and all, let's create some line. This is a 10 distance line and this is 10 distance line. So if I want to make this area to be round, we can use fillet and we can specify the radius value. We'll go to radius here. I said 2. We select that object 1 and object 2. We can add a round. If you have multiple places to be add a fillet, you can take fillet and take radius and put multiple here, and you can add a multiple places round. Some places are there, sometimes we do not want to trim the lines and we want to add a fillet. Okay, so like if I initially use the normal method, what happen if I take this and this, what happen, line will be trimmed, but I don't want to trim the lines. We'll go to trim method and take no trim method and choose multiple method. So like this we can continuously add a fillet and that kind of particular places. Now I can trim this lines, after that making it. We can use one more way of doing fillet, like if I want to join two lines, for example, I want to make a line here and I want this and this gap to be filled. F enter, we can press shift button and this button we can select the lines, we can say that it is closed. If any situation is there, you want to add some radius between the two cases like this, you want to make it round, F enter, you can press control button, select this and you can add round. So what happened, it will take only that much radius whatever we have feed it last, so you can extend this after making it. So it will do like this also. Next, if we have any polyline, like make a polyline. So if you have made, let me make width to be 0 here. So let's make it again. If I make any polyline and I want to put some radius value in all that adjust corners. So we'll take fillet and we use a polyline and we'll select that polyline. Let me use here radius to be 4 and so let me select it. So here earlier I've used no trim method, so it's coming like this. If I let me do undo and if I take F enter, I'll take trim method and we'll take polyline. Let me give radius to be more 8 and we can see that now. So this is how, where that radius is very bigger, it do not able to add that place. Where it can be fittable, it is added. So this is how we can add on the polyline tool also. Now next we have explode tool where it is useful, like if you have any polyline object is there or block is there, you want to break into single objects, like this is a polyline object, I want to break into single line, we take explode tool, we'll select this, enter. So we can see that isn't exploded into single line. Let me bring some blocks also. For that we can go to tool palette, TP, enter. We have some list of blocks are available in our PC. Let's bring blocks from PC. Let me zoom in and let's see. So when you see this, it is a one single object. When you pick it, it's just picked it all together. So you see in single click, it is selecting. Now I want to do one thing. I want to explode it into a single component. We'll take explode and select this, enter. Now when you select it, you see it is not selecting together. It's selecting as a sub object. Now if further I want to explode it, we'll select explode or take explode and select all, enter. Now you can see all single object is selected. All single lines are selecting. So this is how I can make explode of all that objects what we have here. So it may be block, it may be group object, it may be polyline object. Next we'll see how to use offset command. Okay, so if I make any line and I want to make this offset at some distance, we'll take offset from here. And we first will tell the distance. I said this 5 distance, we'll make the line, click on the line and we can define that offset. Okay, so like this we can make it. Let me now this time take less small distance. I'll take offset and let me put a distance of 1. Like this we put a offset. So like this we can do offset. If you want to change the distance at doing offset, you can press double enter 1 and 2 and you can give a new value. I said this is 0.5. Like this we can do offset, or again double enter, I said 0.2. Like this we can change quickly distance while doing offset. We'll see one more method of doing offset. If we have any line is there, for example, let me make our line. If I want to offset with a point, so we'll use through method and we'll select this and we'll tell a point. With that also we can do offset. You don't need to tell the distance, you have to click on the point. If you know, it will be go to that. This is one way of doing offset. If you want to do that one thing while doing offset, you want to delete the last object, that also possible. We go to offset and we'll take here erase and we'll say yes. Now if I do through or any method, we can see that last object will be deleted. Now this is how we can do one offset. Now if we'll see one more thing, LA enter, we'll take layer tool. Let me add some layer here. We'll assign some color to this. Okay, so let me assign some color to this layer. Okay, we have given a color on this. When you do offset, O enter, and or you can take from here and you have one option layer. You want to use current layer or source layer. If you want to, current layer is what you can see 0 here, and source layer is what green color. I want to take current layer, means the white color. I'll take current here. Now whenever we offset this, so offset this, you can see it's going in white. Okay, but if you want to go into exactly in green color while doing offset, you can use source layer. Let's take offset and take layer to be source. Now let me take through method and we'll click on this and we can see that it is going to green layer. So that's how you can use this method. Now next is we'll see how to use array, type of arrays. Let's create something. I'll make a rectangle. Let me make it directly with the lines. This is 2 by 4 and 2. And we'll create the rectangle. Now I want to make this rectangle to be array with the rectangular method. We'll take here rectangular type. We'll select this, enter. So here when we do enter by selecting it, it'll give you column and rows. So you can control how many columns you required, how many rows you required. I say only 3 column required and I required 5 rows. In that, if you want to change the distance between them, we can go here and we can change the distance between here to here. So I just like I need a distance of like 8 and this to be 6. Like this we can put a distance. So if you want to make like flooring kind of thing, like level 1, level 2, like first floor, second floor, we can use levels here. We can put a level. I said I need 5 levels. Okay, I can give the distance between the levels. I say this is 100 distance, and we can see in 3D view how the level is created. Okay, so this is how we can make level wise. If you don't need levels, let's put it 1 and it will become 1. Now we can get back again. How to go back? We can click here or we can click home button and top. We can come back to the normal view. Now here we have one thing, associative and base point. Base point is what, like it is right now center. If you want to change the location of measuring, like right now this distance is here to here, it's measuring like row distance 5 is what from here to here. If you want to change this point location, you can change, like I click here, the distance has been changed. If you select this point and this point, it will show you the distance from that. Okay. Now if you want to make it associative, if associate means I can edit my array later. If I want to do that, I'll keep associative. Let's close it. Now if I select this, I can edit my array. If I want to edit anything, let me change something. I'll say edit source. We'll select the source object and let's make some changes here. And we can save the changes and we can see that it has been changes has been made. You can explode the array also. If you feel that you want to explode array, you can do explode array. So we have explode, we can select this, enter. So array become now single objects again. Next we'll see how to use polar array. Polar array is like for circular cases you can use it. So let's create something. I'll make one more object here. So I want this to be make exactly pattern in this circular area. We can use polar array method. We'll go to array and we'll take polar array method. We'll select this, enter, and we have to specify one center point of that exactly bigger circle. Now we'll get initially 6 objects. We need more, we can specify the number of items. I said I need 8 objects. By default it is distributed by 360-degree angle, so each angle is, we can see there is 45-degree here, we can see between angle. If you want to set at some degree of angle, you can set there like fill angle 180, like it automatically calculate fill angle. So what you require, you can feed it here. Let me calculate to 360-degree, and here we can also make number of rows. If I want to make back side, like I'll put 3 and you can make a distance between them. So like this also we can make it out. Levels are the same thing that we have seen in previous case of rectangular array. Let's make it 1 back. And if I not keep associative, let's see what happens. Let's do okay. So here you can see we can select it single. If I not keep it associative. So that is about polar array. Now we'll see that how to use that path array. So we'll create some path. I'll take spline tool here. Spline is a freehand tool. So for that you should turn off the ortho mode and you can make freehand spline like this. We'll make one object that we want to array here. Let's create one circle and we want to array along this path. We'll go here, array, path array. We'll select this, enter. We'll select the path and here we can see it is get arrayed on that path. Now here what we can see, what we can observe. So here we can see that total 15 items have created and each distance is like 7.4. If you want to like change the number of items, how we can do that? So initially level, I can change the distance between them. I'll put 10. So number of item will be vary. It's become 11. But if I want to give a number of items, how we can give that? Because it is disabled initially. For that, we can click here, measure, and we'll choose the divide method. So I cannot change now distance. I can change only numbers. So I say this to be, I need a item 12 or 15. Let me put it 15. So this is how I have changed the number of counts here. Let's do okay, close. So this is how we can do a path array. Now we are going to see how to use annotation toolbar. In the annotation toolbar, we have text command, dimension, and all the type of dimensions and tables are there. So first we have text command. Text command, we have two type of text. One is multiple line text and one is single line text. So single line text means I want to write any sentence or one word. We can use single line option. So we'll take this option and we can have to specify on the screen where we have to write the text. We have to click one point and then we can specify the height of the text. I put the height is 4, for example. Now I can give the rotation angle to be 0, and we can define that what size, what we have to write it. For example, I'm writing AutoCAD. Okay. Now if I enter something and if I write again something is used for design. Okay. And if I click and I exit, so we can see that it is separate text and this is separate text. So we cannot write a paragraph kind of thing. We can only write a sentence or a word only here. Now, if you want to like edit this, what you can do, you can double click on this and you can only change in that initial level. You can change only that text, but you cannot only you cannot make it changes of heights and anything initial level. So if I want to change the height of text, what we'll do, we'll type st. St is the shortcut. We can take or we can type here or sorry, we can say that scale text. Okay, it's opposite actually. So we'll select the particular text, that height we want to change it, enter, and we put one more enter, and we can give the new height. I say I want to make it 6, enter. So we can see that height has been changed. Now, if you want to like do some text settings and all, we have that text style command is there. For that, you have to go to text style. Okay. For that st enter we can do, and we can take new styles here. We can make modification the style, or we can make the style settings. So let me make new style here. We can make style 1 and okay. If you should remember that what's naming of style is there that you're using. Okay, here you want to take any settings, like you want to set that settings to be Time New Roman, and if you want to take any specific case, I'll take bold and italic. And if I want to change the heights and all, we can fix height, that height will be taken. If you put any effects, we can add effects also. Width and all we can apply. Once we set this, we let me apply. Okay, so like let me set standard as current initially. Now while writing a text, if you want to use that particular style, what we can do, we can type text, or we can go here single line text tool. So here we can see the one option is coming style. We can take style tool and we can type that style name as style and 1. So now that style is activated. Now we can click on the screen and you see it is not asking me height. It's directly adding a rotation angle. We'll put rotation angle 0 and we can start writing the text. Like I'll write again AutoCAD text style. Okay. So like this we can see that how we can write. It's get cancelled. Let me write it again. Text style 1, click, rotation to be 0, and we can write now AutoCAD 2D, click and escape. So this is how we can write a text with the style. Now we have mtext command. Mtext command, we have a lot of tools are there. We can do editing, and we can write a paragraph with the help of this. We'll go to multiple line text. We'll click on the screen and we can start making a box like a rectangle, and we can start writing in that. Like if I want to write it something, I want to write like AutoCAD is used for drafting. It was a very good software. (2D) is very easy to do in this. Okay, like this we have written something. We want to add something, like you can see like by default it's picked the same style that we have created. If you want to change anything, you can change. Maybe you want to change the heights and all, you can change it. So if you want to change anything like bold and italic, you don't require, you can remove that. You want to make it bold or maybe italic only, so you can take that. Maybe you want to put underline, overline, or cross line. Okay, you want to change any in the text, uppercase, lowercase, you can do that changes also. Then you have you want to change the fonts also. Maybe you want to take some different fonts. You want to take some colors inside that, you can fill a color. You want to like use any layers also, you can use the layers also. Now if you want to let me get cancelled again. I'll take again. So I'll type. So let's type it again. AutoCAD is good for 2D. We can design any domain drawings. Okay, like this I written something. Now I want to put some bullets in that. We can have bullets numbering. If you want to put numbers, you can put numbers also. Okay, you can take bullets only. Okay, like letters ABCD, you can take capital ABCD, lower ABCD, or maybe you want to take bullets points, like that. You can add a bullets points. If you want to increase the paragraph spacings and all, you can do that. Paragraph spacings, you can control that from here also. You can go and you can add spacing between them. Now if you want to add any symbols, special symbols, you can take symbols from here and you can use symbols. Let me take like I want to take a degree symbol, I want to take a plus minus symbol, diameter symbol. Any symbols we need to take, we can take from here if I require that. If you're writing something, like if I write wrong spelling, for example, I write design, I write a wrong spell. Okay, so I'll type here and ZN. So what happened? The wrong spelling here written it. Okay, spell check is there. You can put a spell check also. You should turn on the spell check. Okay. So when you go to spell check, it'll be show you mistakes in that. If you not check this, it'll not show any mistakes. So let me keep it on and right click, and it will help you to correct the things also. Okay, it'll give you suggestions also. You can see what you can do it accordingly. If it is there, we can correct from here. If it is not there, then we have to look into this by ourselves. Okay, maybe you want to take any word from here, you can take it from there also. Okay, okay, it's not, design is not there, so we can change it by ourselves. Okay, so it means we get to know that the spelling is wrong. Okay, but we can take from dictionary. Sometimes it's showing, sometimes it's not showing, because some words maybe not the dictionary do not suggesting according to what we are writing. Now if you want to replace something, for example a design word I want to replace from here, I want to make it something else. So let me go here and put it design, and let me replace with the CAD. So I'll say replace all, and we see where the design is written, it has been changed to the CAD later. So this is how we can use this like our toolbar. Now if we close this, we can see this is selected as a together. Okay, so we can make paragraphs and all written together. We can keep them wherever we want to place it. Like this we can do it. Now we will see one more thing. Right now I have written a simple text and M text, but sometime the text we have written after writing, we realizing that we have to convert our single line text into M text also. So how we can do that? For that we can use Express toolbar. In the Express toolbar we have one tool is available that is called convert to M text. So we'll select that normal text and enter, and it will be converted into M text. We can see that it's converted into M text. If you want to edit anything, you can double click on this and we can make changes in that. Like I make 5. Okay, I want to make any colors, anything we want to make changes, we can do that changes here. So that is benefit of your mtext command. Now we'll see how to use different type of dimensions. We can do it here. Like if I want making normal thing, if I want to make normal measurements and all, so you have this dimension is there. With that you can pick any dimension, you can show it directly. So by that we can show, by picking that objects we can show, like if I make circles and all, if I want to make direct dimensions, we can pick that and we can show the dimension. But for all things we have specialized dimensions are also available. We can do that. For that we can go this options, and we can do the dimensions. Let's see one by one. So if I make let me make some rectangle with some size. Let me make this to be 10 and this to be 20 and 10. So I want to do the dimension of this rectangle. We'll go to I want to do horizontal vertical dimension. We'll use linear dimension. We'll pick one point, and second point we can do the dimensions. Again we'll just take the tool and we can do that horizontal dimension. So by picking 2 points, we can do horizontal vertical dimensions. Now this size is very small initially. Let's do some changes. D enter. D is for dimension style manager. We'll go to modify, and here we can do such changes in that text heights and all. We can define. I said this to be the first to be change our arrow and text size and all. So I'll put it here like for example 2 and check first. So 2 is very big. Let's go with the 0.5 and see 0.5 is okay. Then we'll continue. I think 0.5 is also fine. Let's increase a little bit more. I go to 1 here. So after that I'll change my other things accordingly. I'll put it offset from offset line to be 0.5, and we'll change in lines also. We'll put it like 1 and this to be 0.5 and do okay. Let's check now. So that's looking much better, but I don't need the decimal point, so we'll just remove that also. We'll go to modify and we'll go to primary units and we'll make decimal points to be 0. So if you need some points, we can keep it, but here I don't need it, so we remove that. Now, if you made anything else, like if I make one circle here, I'll copy this circle at different places. Let me make one here and I'll copy this and this downward. So if I want to measure distance between this, I can go to linear again. I can select this point and I can show a dimension. So like this, we can show a dimension between any 2 points if we have. Next, if we have like any circles and all, if you want to show exactly diameter or radius value of that, we can go to diameter. For circles we usually show diameters, and if we have uh, fillets and all, we can show radius for that. Like if I make any portions here and I want to make some radius representation, let's put some radius. F enter, R enter. I put it a radius of 2, and we want to represent the radius value, we can use a radius here and we can represent the radius. Or any arc and all we created, in that case also we need to be specify radius. We can specify the radius value. I'll specify first point and second point and third point like that. I want to represent radius, we'll go for the radius. Now next we have like align dimension. Align dimension, when we have anything at an angle, not straight lines. In that cases, we can use align tool to show the dimension of that part. We'll go here, align tool. We can pick this point and this point, and we can show the dimension like this. So like this, we can show all the dimensions and aligned. So at angle dimensions, we can show. Now next is if you want to show angles between them, we can do the angular tool. Angular tool will be help you to show that angle dimensions between two lines, two objects. Next we have like arc length. If you have any arc is there and you want to show that exact length of that arc, what is that? We can use arc length method. So we can show that arc length. Okay. Now one more thing, like when we showing this arc length, the symbol is coming. If you don't need symbol, you can do modification, D enter, and you go to modify. And here you can tell that I don't need that arc symbol. Go here, symbol and arc, and you can use none here, and the arc will not come. And if that arc you need over that circle, this dimension, you can do one more thing. You can say above the text and you can make on that text. So this is a different way of representation. We can make that arc placed accordingly. Next we have ordinate dimensions. Ordinate is what, like if you want to find the coordinate location of any object, you can find that. Let's create something and we can just check out the coordinate of that particular objects. Let me create some objects here and we'll find out the coordinates value of it. Okay, like this. Now I want to find with respect of this particular lines, I want to make this to be x and y. This is my origin point. So what we'll do UCS to be move here. We'll type UCS, enter M, enter. We'll just pick it and move it here. Now what I'll do, I'll just take our ordinate tool and we can show the ordinate dimension. So when you pick that ordinate, we can show that dimension with respect of origin, the UCS. So this is how we can show that x and y position of your objects, whatever we have created. Okay. Now next is jog dimension. Jog dimension, basically if you want to represent the radius and diameter from the circle center or arc center, you can use this. Like if I want to show the arc, so this way we can put a jog dimensions radius. So it's showing that that radius is coming from the center of that particular arc. Now we have some more tools are there. We can like if you want to make something, if you're making something and you want to representing that separately with some leaders and all, you have leader tool is there. You can take leader and you can define the leader from where you want to take the leader. You can just place the leader how you want. Okay, you can keep ortho mode, so then it will be only horizontal vertical, but when you keep ortho mode off, it will be go anywhere. You can click and you can write here M text. If you're writing, I want to write like for example, this is a rectangle block. So the height is very small. We can select this text and we can just change the height here. Let me put it 4 and we can see, or let me make it 2 and click and escape. So this is how we can do it. Now we have some option is there, like table is there. If you want to make tables, we can make table. We have two methods are there of table creating. One is insert point, one is window method. Window method we can define either row and column, either column and width, or alternate. We can take and cross like this. We can take this 2, or we can take this 2, or this 2, or this 2. So any possibility we can create that what we want to take it out. So I'll take here, I want to take row and columns. I know number of columns that I required, number of row I required. I'll put it and I'll create a like this. We can create a table. Now here we want to write anything, we can put it like I want to write a bill of material. Okay. So like this, we can put that values and we initiate that the text size is very small. You can set that what size you want to make it out. Okay, you can set it here. So like this, we can do it. So here now each time we have to manage for the text because we haven't tell the software what exactly size initially we are going to use it. So we have to each time we have to give the text value. Now when we writing a number, the number will be going automatically side. In the number cases we have to manage that. Let's take it middle center. From here like this we can change it. We have one more way of making table. We go to TV enter, or we can click on the table option. We have that specify insert method is there. In that you can specify what is the row height and width is there, and even the columns. Both we can specify. Let's do okay. So if you make the table and here you can start writing in that. Like if I write bill of material, you can see that here will not face a problem of text size. So because initially the height and width is fixed, so the text will become according to that. So I'll put it bill of material and all. Okay. Now if I want to write it, for example, this is serial number, this is the part number, part name, or quantity. This is, we can fill like one. So again, I say this is a bolt, okay, and quantity to be 5. So as I said, number will be not come in exactly position. So what we'll do, we can select that columns and all. We can go here and set alignments to be middle center. So this is how we can correct that. So like this, we can make a complete tables and all. Now, if you want to make more table settings and all, you can go to tables, and here you have the table styles is there. You can go to table style, and you can create some your own styles. You can click here new, and you can make like, I'll say table. I'll give a name table and continue. If you want to make any settings and all, like how you require table, by default it is up and down. You can make the settings maybe down and up, like you can set it. So each cell header data and table we have. Okay, you want to change any settings regarding that, we can change that. Let me make data settings. I'll fill some colors inside that. So text to be top, or I can say middle center always. Then let's go to text. Anything in the text, let me put the text color to be yellow. Anything in the borders of line you want to change, you can change that. I'm not changing anything. I'll go to headers. In headers, you can define that header colors. If it's need to fill something, I'll put it again the middle center, and this to be, I'll put it like this, or this is not visible. Let's put this. In that title, if you want to take anything, you can fill colors and all like that. Let me put a magenta color, and okay, there's a border. So here we'll put it magenta color, and in borders, let's keep it white. The text color. So like this, we made a setting. Like here, we can make all the settings. After that, the settings, whatever we made, if you want to modify any settings, you can go back. What are the settings you feel like you need to change, you can still change it. After changing, you do okay and close it. Now, if you want to use it, set this current and close it. Now, if you're making a table, let's do okay. And if you make a table, you can see the table will become that settings. So this is how, if I want to write something, you can see it will come with the same colors and all, and same text size. If you change size and all, it will become the sizes. Now let me give a name here, like part name, quantity. Okay, so this is how you can see that it is coming with the exactly the format that we have defined. We can make tables from Excel also. If we have data is available with us, we can browse the data from our computer, and we can bring the Excel data into AutoCAD and use as a table. Like if I want to do that, I'll go to again TB, enter table. So here we have to use from a data link, and we have to browse a data from our computer. So for that, we have to give a name here, like I'll give bill of material and do okay. So once you do okay, it will be give you the option to load the path where you want to take the file. Let's click here. So if you have that files with you, you can load that. Let me take this. I have one file. Let me open that. So it will be show you the preview of the data here. And you have two ways. One, you can link entire sheet, or you can link with the range also. If you know the range of sheet, you can link with the ranges. Let me do okay here. So once we do okay, the data has been linked here, and we'll do okay. And do okay. So here we can see that the Excel data has been imported. So if you want to change this data, you can go to Excel file and you can change that. And when we change that Excel data, this will be got update here also. Let's see how to do that. Let me open that Excel file. So here we have opened that Excel data file. We can see this is 20, and if we see in the software also, the same data is there. Okay. So I want to change this data now. Let me make this data to be 1, 2, and let me just change this like this number 9 till 9. Now we'll save this data and close this. Once we change the data there, and we can see here this link, it will show you that one option here. You have to change this data link has been updated. You have to click on that to update here. You can see this data is same. As when I click on this link, it will be update my all the data. Let's click on that. So you can see that data has been updated. So initially we cannot edit any data from here. If you want to edit any data, what you do, you select that and you have to unlock that particular cell. Then only you can change the data from here. Okay, so we can do the changes also if it is required to done that. Now quickly we are going to see how to use the layer management toolbar. So here we have the layer management toolbar. For creating layers, we can go to layer properties, and here we can create our layers. So for creating layers, we can click on new layers, and for deleting any layers, we can click on delete here. So if you want to freeze any layers, we can have a freeze layer options. If you want to freeze the layers in other all the viewports, we can use this. For this is for checking that which layer is active. Here we can see the 0 layer is active. If you want to make any other layers to be active, you can click on that. That layer will become active. Now let's make add new layers. Adding some layers. You want to rename them some layers. You can rename that. Let me rename it like a boundary, and we can rename this like holes, dimensions, text, and we'll take like hatch. If we have dash line, center lines, we can define that also. I said like center line. Now let me add my colors according to that. Let me add different colors to different layers. We can assign a complete different layers. Let me take some colors. So here let's specify the text some color, hatching to some color, and center line to be some color. So once you specify that, if you want to make any objects, now how to use the layers toolbar. So once you have made the layers, we can create the object by using layers. We can go here and we can use the layer. Like I want to make a boundary, let me make one rectangle. We can click and we can specify this rectangle of 10 by, or we can say this 20 by 10 size rectangle. I'm making it. And once I made a rectangle, I have justified the boundary. Now, if I want to make a circle, we can use like holes, and we can specify that where we're making holes. I'll just specify the center, and we can make more holes. I just make some here randomly, and we'll copy this. So I'm just placing it randomly without any distances and all. So I'll copy this other sides. Now I want to place center line between them. We can use a center line. We can take a center line tool and we'll just draw a center line. Now what we'll do, LA enter, we do one more thing. Here we add a center line in that. So go here and we can go to load and we can take a center line and do OK, and we can select center line from here and load it. So here we can see the center line is added. Now when we use this tool, this layer, the line type will be also added in that. You can see that the color is coming with the line type. Now I can manage my circle to be exactly center. So like this we can make. Now so let me explode this. Let me make one offset of this side. Okay. Oh, and the offset will just make it as to be no, and we can now make offset of one distance. So we can adjust our circles also exactly where I want to keep it. So I'll just make the circles to be located exactly the point here. So all the circles to be located like this. We can manage it. So we can see that how we can use it move also, and while correcting our diagram. If I want to know exactly where to place, we can correct like this. So I just place that. Okay. Now I want to like put hatchings in this area. So we can do hatch enter, H enter. For that we can use hatch layer. Okay. So we can assign a layer here. What layer I'm going to use it for that? Let me set here layers to be hatch layer. Now H enter will just pick here by layer, and we can select that, and we can specify the color of the angle of and the scaling of the hatching what we require. So once we've done the hatch, okay, it's set by color. Let me take some pattern. So I'll take some pattern here. Now I can fill the pattern value. I put 5 here, and now if I want to write any text, we can go to text layer. So I'll go to text and I want to write it text, enter, or we can take single line text or m text. I'll click on the screen and put that distance and angle. Let me make 0. Okay, it's looking very bigger. We'll take the text command again. So we'll just click and we'll put the size to be 2. And okay, actually we have made text style now, so due to that it's coming very bigger. So we have to just go to st enter and we just reduce that settings of this. Let me make this to be 1.5 and apply. So now when we use it, text, it will become with that particular size. So we'll click and we have to specify the rotation angle to be 0, and we can write the text. I said this is a bracket made of steel. Like this, we have just given some detail about this bracket. So we have written the text by using the layer. Now If you want to do dimensions, we can set the layers here. We can select dimension layer and we can do the dimensioning. I'll put some dimensions like horizontal, vertical dimensions. And I want to specify the diameters and all. Let me take diameters. We'll select that and we can show the diameter value. Let me pick it here and circle diameter. Anything else we want to show, we can represent it. Now, I want to show that distance between that circles from the circle to the circle, the distance we can show here. Let me show here. And let's move this text a little downward. And also I want to show that distance between this circle to this circle also. So we can adjust the values. So this is how we have made the layers. Now, if I want to control the layers, we have the options here to turn off and turn on. So if you want to hide anything, you can click off. That particular layer will be get off. Maybe you don't want to show the hatch, you can turn off. Maybe we can hide the holes, centralize. So if you want to control your projects, this is help you to control that project visibility. Now, if you want to lock your data, you can here lock options. You can lock the data also. So after locking, if you want to delete anything or anything you need to edit, you cannot edit it because that lock means we cannot do any modification. So if you're sending some project to any other person and you want the person cannot use your project, you can lock this way. Now they can also unlock it by going back this two option, or you can also unlock from here. Now the next option is there freeze. This freeze option is like if you whatever where the drawing we have made it and you want to hide this all everywhere, you can use this freeze method. So what it means actually, when I'm using this, the freeze option, it will be hiding the data everywhere actually. Like if you go to layouts and all, you can see this is the same thing. The data that is created that is get hidden here also. So mean to say that if we have any viewport is there, you can hide the data there also. Now, like when we go to like layouts, let me go to layout and let me like delete the previous things, whatever is there. So when we working in layouts and we want, let me adjust it at center. So if you want to use only that some layers in the layouts and without affecting that layers of your project, okay. So you can see one more option will become here layer, and that is called freeze in current viewport. Means if you're drawing something by the using these layers, that can be only controlled by this particular method. So let me use some like boundary method. I'll draw something here and I'll make on the paper space something. So when I draw something with the paper space here, so if I see to turn off that layer with this option, it is only hiding that. Usually it is do not affecting anything that. But if you hide this with this method, it will hide your. Let me make this to current layer. Anything else? Then let me hide this, and you can see that the both are get hidden. So that is the meaning of this. Here we can control both things, but with this method, if I turn off this, that will only control this particular portion. So this is how we can use this all viewport, and this is only for particular viewport. Now we'll see the same option that we have made. We have this options are given here also. We can use option is called off. If you want to off a particular layer, you can select that. The layer will get off. You want to on that, you can click on back. You want to make any layer to be isolate. Isolate means only that particular layer will be visible on the screen. Let me select this rectangle layer, enter. So only that rectangle is visible and you can unisolate also. Then if you want to freeze any particular layer, you can select that layer to be freeze. So that layer get free, you can click unfreeze, that layer will be get unfreeze. You want to lock any particular layers, you select the layers will be get locked. You can select unlock. And then if you want to make any layer, like you see right now, zero layer is a current layer. If you want to make any layer to be here to current layer, we can select this and we can select on the layer, that layer become current. Means if I draw something, that will be drawn in that particular layer. Now, if you want to match a layer, like if you want to change a layer into anything else, like I want to give this color to this, means this layer to this circle. So we'll go to match layer. We have to select the object where we have to transfer the layer, and we have to take the layers from which thing we are taking object. I select this object and enter. Okay, let's do again. Select this, enter, and select this, enter. So you can see what happened. The layer has been transferred from this part to that circle. So this is how we can use a layer transfer method. Okay, so that's about layer toolbar. Now we'll see some more things in the layer. So now we are going to see options in the layers. We'll go to layer properties, and here we have some options like new property filter and new group filter and layer state manager. So how to use all three options, we'll understand one by one. So first we'll take this option is called layer property filter. Like if you want to filter that layers on the basis of property, we can use this option. Let me create some extra layers to do the filters. Let me add some layers and we'll give some property. Let me do some lock, like 2 layers I locked it. Let me do freeze 1 or 2 layers. So let me do one thing more, like let me lock some layers. I'll put a lock on the layers. Let me have lock properties. Then I want to make that layer to be like, for example, I don't want to take the layer, particular layer to be in a printout. Let me add some layers like that. I can define that I don't need that layer in the print and all. So like this, we can define different kind of properties: on and off, freeze, lock, color property, line type, line width. All the properties we can assign it. Once we assign the property, we can have this option. Okay, we get new property filter. Why it is required when we have thousands of layers, 2000s of layers? So in that cases, it's not easy to find the particular layer. So in that case, if we have created a filters for the particular layers, we can easily search them and we can control that layers. So here, let me filter on the basis of like off layers. I'll give the name like off layers. So here we go to on filter and we can just put here off symbol, and that layer will be get filtered and do okay. Like this, we want to make more filters. We can go like, I want to make a filter of printer. Okay, plot. So plot is basically I have turned off. So I want to keep that off layers to be separated and do okay. The similar way, like I want to make that freeze layer. We'll put name freeze here and we just separate the freeze layers and do okay. Now next we'll go here to the option. We want to make on the basis of like, for example, line properties. I'll put line properties. So we'll define that what type line property, because I have only defined center line. So that line, that layers will be get separated. Okay, not continuous. Continuous I don't require. Let me remove from here. I will take center. So anything else line type we have created, we can take that also. Now let me do okay here. So we can see here only that particular layers are getting separated here. Now what is benefit? Like if you're using all layer, now when you come here, you can see all the layers are visible. But if you want to see a particular layer, you can activate that particular filter. And when you go here, you will see the active layer and the other filter layer. Now again, if I go, I want to activate like this layer, and if I go again and close this, and if I see here, only that particular layers are visible. So that is a benefit of filtering the layers property. We have one more way that filters we can create. Like we can make a layer on the basis of groups. Like for example, let me create some layers on the basis of group. Let me give some names. Like for example, like giving hole. I'll put here like small holes. I'll make new layers like large hole. So like this, I have added some layers names and all. Okay, like we can create here group filter. You can give that names like holes. So if you have something in your project you want to put like by a folder, so you can make by folder filter. So you can place your layers into that. Now I'll go to all use layer. What I'll do, I'll just drag that layers into that particular group. So you can see the hole is transferred like this. I can transfer other layers. I want to transfer the small holes to hole and large hole to this particular hole. So you can see that on this particular group, I have 3 layers are there. So like this, if I go, I can activate that particular group. So that layers will be visible here. Now, so we'll see again, LA enter. So first let me make this to be active here. I'll just make to be active here. Now we can see here that particular layer become active, and we can see only those 4 layers are there, not other layers are visible here. So that is the benefit of making group. Now we'll see how to use layer state manager. How to use layer state manager. So for that, we'll go to layer properties and we'll click on layer state manager. So here you can make new and you can give some names. I'll give like layer, or we can say, we can give some name exporting layer. Like that, I give a name. So you want to write anything description, you can enter a description and do okay. And if you want to update anything, you can click update. If anything is there, that will get updated. If you want to edit anything, you can edit. Like I want to remove some layers that I don't want to take in my project. So we can select this layer and by pressing Control button, and we can remove that layers if I don't require that, and we'll save it. If you want to rename something, you can click rename and you can change this name again. If you want to delete this, you can delete it also. Now, what we'll do, we'll select this and we'll click export. We want to save into our PC. We can define, like I'll keep in the document folder here. I'll just give a name exporting layer, and make sure when you're giving a name, you remember that what file type you're choosing here. So we have to take the file type is layer state, and that is .las. We'll save it. And now we'll click export. Okay, so I think already exported. Now cancel it. So we'll close it. Now what is the benefit of doing export this layer? Now we'll take new file. So here we can see there is no layers are there. Okay, no layers are there. I want to import that layers from that the layers we have saved in our PC. So we'll go to layer state again, and we'll go here export layer state, and we go to import option. So in this, you can see here, we cannot see that particular layer is that layer properties that I have exported, that is not visible here. Reason is behind that because the file type that is set here drawing.dwg. That's why I'm not able to view that. So to see that particular file type, we have to change this to layer state. Once we change the layer state, we can see this file is available here. We can select that file and click open. So now when we importing this file, it say restore could not restore all the line types. So what we can do, how we can do that? So first we simply have to do OK, and we'll say restore state. So once we imported that layers, we have to define all the line types again. That is only solution. So we'll go here load, and we'll just define what are the center line or what are the line type we have used. We can define it back. So now in the new project, we can use this layer. So this is how we can use a layer management toolbar. Now we're going to see how to use a property toolbar. Property toolbar is what like we can match one layer to another layer. We can assign colors, we can assign line weight and that line types. So let me create some object. Let me create some lines and understand how to create. Let me put this to 0 layer initially. I'll copy this line multiple times. Now I want to assign some color to this. We can assign a color from here. We can use any color from here, or we can go here more colors, and we have AutoCAD index color is there. We can select any color from here. We have 255 colors are available in AutoCAD index. So any one color we can select that we want to assign it. We can do okay. So here we can see that color is added here. Now we can select that color and we can add it. Similar way, we have more colors are there. We can have color books is available. We can go to true color and color books. So from true color, we can also make our own color. We can just move our cursor and we can select the particular color by controlling the red, green and blue color, the luminance, saturation, hues we control, and we can make our own color. Now do okay. Now we can see that color is added here. We want to select that. We want to add that color. We can select from here. Oh, so it's not selected. Let me add it again. Now next, if you want to take from color from the color book, again you can go here and you take more options and you go to color books. You can have a lot of color books are available. You can select any one color book that you require. Let me take this Pantone solid uncoated, and from there we have a lot of other colors are coming. You can select that color, or you can select from here also what colors you want to set it. You can select it and do okay. So once you selected that, the color is added there. Again you select the line and you can add the color from there. So this is a way that we can add a color to our project. Now we'll see how to apply the line type. So here we have the line types. By default we have continuous. Okay, we have added recently center is available, but if you want to add more lines, you have to go to others, and you have to go to load, and you have to select the line. Like for example, I'm going to take a dash line. We'll select to D dash. So we want to take like a phantom line. We press P and we can get a phantom line. And we want to take, for example, hot water line and other things. We can select that. Like this, we can select a different line types. Now we'll do okay here. Now how to apply the line type? We just have to select the object and we'll go to this and we can select the line type. So like this, one by one, I am assigning all the line types. So once we assign all the line types, we can notice one thing. Somewhere we'll feel that spacing is big, somewhere spacing is less. How to control individual line spacing? For that, we can use property toolbar. We can type PR enter in that PC here, PR enter in the command area. Once you type PR, it will open the property toolbar. You can select that. Now here you can control that scaling of line. I want to reduce 0.5. You can see that scale has reduced. You can increase it. I want to say 0.8. It will be increased. Like this, I can select a particular line. I said this to be increase something 3. Okay. So like this, we can reduce scale or increase the scale by using property toolbar. There is option is called line type scale. We can not only control the line type property, we want to control other things also. We can select the line. We can change color from here. Like if you want to change any other color, you want to change the line type even, you can set the different line type. You can set the color, or you want to control any transparency value. You can also give the transparency value. It will become that much transparent here. Then if you want to assign line weight also, we can assign line weight from here also, and we have the tool is there, line weight. So if you want to give any line weight to any lines, we can select from here the line weight tool. We can assign different line weight. Let me select different lines. 0.35 here. Let me take 0.53. Let me assign something to this 0.04, and this we can take something 0.53. Now I have added all the line types, but it's not visible on the screen. How we can make the line type to visible on the screen? We have to press LW, and we'll just choose display line weight and do OK. So this is how we can see the thickness of the line. So once why it is required when we do printout now, sometimes that line thickness is not visible properly. To get visible or better printout, we used to add a line thickness so we can get a better print quality. Now we'll see how to use blocks toolbar. Okay, one more thing, like match property toolbar is there. So match property is what, like if you want to transfer one property of tool to another object. Okay, like this object, I want to transfer the property to this object. So we can use match property tool. Okay, maybe if I'm making any simple object, for example, let me set this to bilayer and this to be bilayer. And if I make any simple objects and I want the quickly transfer that other lines property also. So how we can do that? So we'll go to match property. We have to select the source object. This is my source and this is my destination. Okay, like this again, I'll take the tool. I say this is my source and this is my destination. So like this, we can transfer a line property to any other line property, color property, or anything that we can transfer with the property method. So that can be done by using match property tool. If you given one property, one object, that can be transferred to the other object by using match property method. Now we're going to see that how to create blocks and insert in the file. So to creating the blocks, we have the block toolbar. Here we have create option. We can create blocks from here. So for see how to make a block, we just define that shapes that we want to convert into block. Let's me create one rectangle, one circle. This is one separate rectangle, one separate circle. These are two different objects. I want to combine them into one single object and convert into block. So I'll go to here create option and we'll give a name here. Like let me add a block. We can specify one pick point from where we're going to pick this block, and we have to select a one object. And here you have three options: retain, delete. Retain means that will be remain as on the screen, but it will convert the block. Then convert means it will be convert is on the screen also, and it will save into library. And delete means it delete from the screen. So what are the options we have to take? We can choose any one option from here. Let me use delete here. We can see that it's deleted. Let me see other method also. Let me something else. Let me make that quickly. So I'll make B enter and we'll just choose pick point, name like block2. So we'll select the object and we'll keep it here retain. So you can see that it's do not change on the screen. Now like if I want to make, let me convert this into a block. So B enter, we can give a name like here again block3, and I'll use the method is called convert to block. So we'll select that object and enter and pick point and OK. So here you can see that object has on the screen it's converted to block. Now all the blocks that we have converted into block, how we can use into our projects or how we can take that into our screen. So here we have one option is called insert. We have to go to insert and we can insert that block any number of times. There is no limitation of once we created the blocks we can use it. So wherever we feel that like some things are repeating again and again in our projects, we can use it. Like for example in civil projects, for furnitures and all, we make blocks and use it. For mechanical, some components, some tools that we need to use again and again, we just create that and save into the library and use it again and again. So that's how we can make block. Like here, if you want to detect, like if you're making other things also, I make normal rectangle, normal other things. Okay, so I want to detect what are the blocks only. Okay, I want to detect what are the blocks here. So we can click detect option. So here it will be start detecting in the background whatever the blocks you have in your projects. So that will call a detection method. So it'll detect and show us like these are the blocks we have in our project. So it'll take little time in doing this method. So meanwhile that I'll pause. Okay, let's see the next tool now. So this is how we have seen that how we can use this option. Now we'll see if we want to use something directly grouping something, like if we make any two objects and you want to group them only, not converting to block, but I want to convert them into a one single group. So what we'll do, we'll select that and we'll just go to group tool and we can see that that has become one group. Okay, so sometimes we have to select something together. In that cases, this is very useful. If you want to ungroup them, you can select and you can click here ungroup method. Okay, you once you made a group or you feel that you need to be add something in between the group also, you can select that and you can do add object, remove object. Maybe I said I want to remove this object and enter. So that is not now the part of group and that is a group object. You can add also, you can remove also. Now we have some like tools are there. Like for example, I want to calculate a location like x and y z coordinate for any point. We can type id enter. We can click on that. We can set we can see here x and y point of that particular tool. Now we'll see how to use different functions key. We have in AutoCAD different function keys are there that we can use. We have F1 to F12, that different functions we have. F1 we can use for taking help, where you can click and you can get the help option, where you can uh, take any help from that software itself. You want to learn the new things, you can see the AutoCAD things from here, or you can search it even here. Like if I want to search for any tool, like for example line tool, and enter, it will show you the detail of that particular tools. Okay, a lot of things, details will come. Like I want to study on line tools, how we can apply filters. So here the left hand side we can see the filters are there. So I can search, like for example, only commands I want to see. So now it will only give you the commands. Here you can see all the other commands are there. Like if you see at the top, the line command came. So like this, if you know the correct name of the tool, you can type it here, it will show you that. Like if we can click here and we can read detail about that line tool. So this is how we can take a help of AutoCAD software to understand any new thing from here. Next, F2. F2 is what, like whatever we did till now in that software screen, that complete history of that part will become. We can press F2. So here we can see that F3. F. So here we can see the history of our project, whatever we did. Next, F3 button. F3 button is used to turn off object snap. So what is object snap? Like basically when we draw something, let me show you. If I take line, like if I touch this corner, we can see that endpoint. If you touch this middle, it will show you middle point. It will show you center point. Like this, we make a circle or something. It will show you like that coordinates. Okay, like center point. If you draw something intersection, it will show you intersection point. So like if I see here, we can see the intersection point of this two. So these are what called geometrical snaps. So how with F3 this will be enable and disable. Like if you press F3 again, it will become off. Now it is do not detecting anything. So we have to press F3. We can see here that icon become on here. So sometime after enabling also this will not work. In that cases you type DS enter drafting setting and you go to object snap and make sure select all. Once you select all, if you're not selecting all, or anything is one or other is checked, it means that particular it will show. Like I'll do okay and I'll show you. You can see only perpendicular symbol is coming, nothing else is showing here. So in that cases we have to make sure that all the symbols should be checked here. Now then only we can able to detect that points exactly. So that will help you to make a project in better way. So you make sure that should be always turned on. Then F4 button is used for what, like we can see. So when you're working 3D, okay, when you're working 3D, you can turn off and turn off the snap. So the same way, like as we see in 2D, like let me make a simple rectangle and convert it to 3D. Let me make an extrude. So let me change this to view type. So here, if that snap, we can turn off by F4 button. Now if you pick something, okay, so it do not pick like it's right now on. Let me off. So once you do that, it do not show you all the snaps actually. So one more thing here, when we go here, we have to just turn off this trackings and all here. So here, let me turn off this. This we keep it on and we have to deselect all. Now you can see here, if you see, do not, so let's picking some points. I think it is on. Let me turn off that also and we can see that it do not picking any points. One more thing we can do first, let me move this body from its actual position. Okay, fine. So F4, let me press F4. Just let me off and now we can see that. So we can see do not picking anything. So we can press F3 and F4. We can keep select all and do okay. Now it will be start picking that point. So you can see that it start picking that points. Okay, with that boxes and all will come, it start picking that points. It will show you something on that part. Next is F5. F5 is again used in 3D. Like if when we work in isometric diagram, in that cases to change the view. Okay, let me on the isometric draft and we can show you. So press F5 button. You can see the direction of grids and the cursor will be changed. That is when we're working the isometric diagrams, we can press F5 button to change that. What is F6? Let me go back to now normal. F6 is what? So dynamic UCS actually it will be again used in when you work in 3D. In that cases, you can manage the UCS. Okay, so we'll not see 2D right now that part. We'll see now again F7 key. F7 key, like you see the grids now. You want to off the grids, press F7. You can press F7, make a grid on. Then F8 is what, like turn off that ortho mode and ortho mode. Like if you making horizontal vertical line, right? So you can see that if it is off, it do not draw exactly horizontal vertical, but if you press F7, F8, it will become on and off. So like this, I can make on and off that my lines with the help of F8 button. So F9 key, it will be like pick the grid boxes. If you see that my cursor is stucking in the grids, so it will be pick the grid boxes. If you have specified any size of grid, you can pick that grid boxes and you can draw that object with the help of grid boxes. Like this, I am making 0.0.5 size of grid box. If I want to change any settings of grid box, how we can change that? Let's see that. So we'll type DS enter, and here we'll go to snap and grids, and here we can change the snapping. Like if you want to snap at 1 grids, you can also give that X and Y box sizes, how much you require. You can see that all the box sizes become 1 size. Now if I make any line, that will come 1 size, that will become a 1 size. So this is how we can make a pick the grid boxes with the help of by pressing F9 button. If you press F9 again, so snapping will become off. So you can see that if I draw again. So let me first, you can off from here also. If you not find F1, you can press, you can click here also to off, and you can also turn off the grids. Now, now F10 is for polar tracking. If you want to make something at an angle, we can use polar tracking method. Now we'll see after F9, we can press F10 key, or we can click here that polar tracking. So once the polar tracking will be on, we can make the line at an angle by tracking them. It's taking 0 degree. You can see it will track some angles. Like right now, it's do not tracking. It will only track 0 and like some angles will track. But it's not tracking right now any angles because we have to define that what angle we have to track. We'll go to DS Center and go to polar tracking. Here we can specify, okay, the angles to be tracked. Here it's showing that tracking angle is 80 and additional angle is 40, 120 and 200. We can change this whatever we require. Like me set this to be 20. So I want to track the increment of 2020. So I'll take a line, and when we draw a line, you see 0 degree. Let me take a line of 10 distance and make one more line, and we want to track a 20 degree angle. So what happened, my snaps are off. Let me turn on snap DS enter, and let me enable all the snap first. Okay, so here all are selected, it's on now. So we'll take a line tool. Now we can pick this point. Now we can see that it will track the snapping at 20 degree. The green line is showing that it is tracking that angle. So if you want to make exactly 20 degree, you can make the distance and you can make that. Again, next angle it will track 40 degree. You can see that green line will become at 40 degree. 40 degree. Like this, you can make 40 degree, 60 degree, then 80 degree, then 100 degree. Like this, we can make. Like I want to make 100 degree, I want 10 distance line, enter. So like this, we can make by tracking that angle. If you want to make additional angles, okay, this I used. We have used only right now increment angles only. But if you feel that you want to take any additional angle in between, you can go here additional angle. Let me further read that what are the angles are there. Apart from that, I'm going to track any other angles. We'll take new angle. I said this to be 15 degree, this to be 35 degree, this to be 45 degree, this to be like 60 degree, 66 degree, 68 degree. Like this, I give some angle. So if I want to track that angles, you can see now if you use cursor will track like 15 degree angle. It's showing that green line here. So like this, we can track that angle and we can create the lines on that. So if you want to draw a line at particular degree of angle, we can give that polar tracking angles and we can draw the line at particular angles. That is the benefit of polar tracking method. F11 is like for when we working in like tracking, like we want to track something, like we want to track this to this point, you can make it on your polar tracking. So it will be, you do the tracking. If you press on, it will be start tracking that point. See, like this, it can start tracking that point. Like I want to track this point to this point, like this, I can get, we can, let me draw something properly so I can show you the proper example. Like if I'll make something here, so I want to make tracking this two lines. I said this to be track to here, like this. You can see that it'll give you tracking. Or let me move this a little bit here, and I'll track this point to this point. You can see that it'll give me tracking point. So, okay, like if I press off this, means if I turn off this now, if I again track that, so I do not able to track that points exactly. Okay, I think it do not become off. Let me off it first. Now let's see if you try to track that. Okay, still it's tracking. So if I try to track this now, this point, it will track endpoints just, but it do not track any other points. Like if I try to track midpoint, it do not track the midpoint. That is the function of this particular part. But if I on this, if I on this F11 button again, now you can see that it will track the middle point also. Okay. So endpoint will be tracking all both the condition, but other points can be only tracking when it is on condition. If I make it off again, F11, and you see that it do not track that points. It do not tracking up points. Now there's a F12 button. F12 button is that dynamic input, means whatever the commands we are using, and we want to see that on screen, whatever we are typing it. So that we can see by the dynamic input on. We can press F12, so it is on initially. Okay. So if I type, for example, line command, you can see the line command is coming on the screen. So you can enter, we can put the values on the screen like this, 10 enter like this. We can just specify how much we have to take like this, 10 enter. So this is how we can create a by defining the dynamic input also. If you don't need dynamic input, you can press F12, it become off. Now if you take anything, if you type line command or anything, you can see that even I'll type LINENT, where it's going the command area. It do not coming on the screen. If it's do not showing any value here, if I want to type the value, I said 5, it just going the command area. So that is the difference without dynamic input and with dynamic input. So these are all the functions key we have seen how we can use that. Now we're going to see that if I want to take a final printout of for my drawings, how we can do that printout. So printout, we'll go to application menu, or we can say Control P, we go to print here, and we go to continue plot the sheet here. So here you have to select the printer. If you have any printer, like we have a printer here, we can select a printer also. If you don't have printer, you can select a PDF methods. Like we have a lot of PDF quality methods are there. We can convert into JPG, PNG and other methods also. I'll take here DWs to PDF, and then we can select the paper size, on which paper size I want to take a printout. So basically, like sometime when we have title blocks and all, in that cases we use full bead paper. Okay, A4 and other, what are the paper size we have to take, we'll take full bead paper. If you're not using like that title blocks and all, we'll use directly the direct papers, expand paper. So choose any one paper. Once you select the paper, you have to decide the landscape or portrait size paper that you require. So once you decide the paper, you have to select that area. Okay, we have different methods. Let me show you display, it show you that how the printout. This is show the display method. Second method is like extend method, preview. If next is limit method, if you have set the project limit also, then you can see that printout how it will coming, but it's going outside the limit. Best method is that if you can select a window method, you can select the area that you want to print it. I said this is much area that I want to print it. We can select that area, then use center to plot, fit to paper, and we can do preview. So if you need a color printout, we just take directly and do okay. But if I say I want to take black and white printout, we can set this to monochrome CTB and say yes. Now we see the preview. So this is how we can take out the final printout and do okay. And when you do okay, this will be converted into PDF and we can save into our desktop. Like I'll save in documents. We can give a name like model name. I said bracket design and save it. So we can save this into our project. So this is how we have saved this project. Okay. So this is how we have seen a basic working, how we can do a printout, and we have learned a basic of AutoCAD in this quick training.